Hi, good evening, my dear students. Many of you know me, but a lot of you don't know me. I'm Saptoshi Mukherjee. I teach physics, chemistry, and maths for ICSE and CBSE students till class 12. So, what I've come here to discuss today is we all know that both CBSE and ICSE have broken down their final exam into two parts. The first part for ICSE will be somewhere in November. We expect it will be after Children's Day, that is after 14th November. Let's say it will start from 20th November. And for CBSE it will be from December. Right? And that part is covering 50% of your entire syllabus, and it will be an MCQ mode or multiple choice question mode. And maybe you have to give it from your home, or maybe you have to give it from your school. Does not really matter. The topic of discussion of today's is what should be our strategy. Should we keep the same strategy like all other batches for the last year and so, or should we change our strategy? Before giving any exam, be it your school exam, be it in a competitive exam, you have to understand the game. Why I'm telling it's a game, don't take it otherwise. I'm not taking as a game as it is child's play. The game is, it has some rules. Each and every game will have some rules, and you have to abide by the rules. If you abide by the rules, things are easy. If you don't understand the rules of the game, it becomes very complicated, and we as students become very confused. So what are the possibilities? What we should be focusing on and what we should not be focusing on? What should be our preparation method? And what type of questions might come? And what should be our strategy for getting maximum marks? These are only few things I will discuss. The strategies obviously will be different for different subjects, but there is a general strategy and there will be a specific strategy which is subject specific. So let's take physics, or let's take maths, or let's take chemistry. Since I teach physics, chemistry and maths, I am more equipped to discuss about them, but similar strategies will be for your art subjects or other subjects also. So understand, first and foremost, 50% of your syllabus. So we all have seen like what are the chapters that there in maths, what are the chapters that there in physics, and what are the chapters that there in chemistry. Right. So we all must have completed those chapters, or maybe in a verge of completion. Right. If I'm talking of ICSE specific, because when I'm talking of ICSE specific and not CBSE, I will make a separate video on CBSE also, but this video is more general and a bit inclined towards ICSE covers more syllabus than CBSE. CBSE, the science group is one total, but in ICSE there are physics, chemistry and maths, physics, chemistry and biology separately, and so physics will be a different subject, chemistry will be a different subject, and biology will be a different subject, not in together. So how should be our preparation be, and why have ICSE, or why have these boards, these private boards, or the CBSE and ICSE have created such thing? First of all, last year because of pandemic, we know that ICSE or CBSE could not conduct any exams, and your results came based on your class 9 performance and class 10 school performance. We should know that none of the exams has been conducted, or none of the questions has been set by the board. So it was totally depend on the school. Different schools will set different type of questions, which might differ based on its difficulty mode or based on the way they have conducted. So it was not a level playing field. So ICSE, to avoid such scenario, have broken it down into two parts, so that at least it has an uniformity in terms of the question patterns. Right. So this is the first strategy of ICSE, why they have broken it down. Right. So even if something happens on March and they are not able to conduct the second part, the first part have more importance, and your entire marks would be based on the first part. That's what we can consider, or we can take care of. Now, should our preparation be the same way? Should we prepare the same way we have been preparing for? Or should MCQ have a different way of preparation? Which means why I'm saying this, because some of the questions like derivations cannot come in MCQ. Ray diagrams are very unlikely to come in MCQs, like for your ray diagram of lenses or any other things. Okay, so what kind of questions might come and how do we prepare for that? The questions that might come are simple, like what you have been doing for the last 1.5 years. I think most of the schools, most of you are giving MCQ exams sitting at home, and we're doing that. So how will it be the same or will it be different? Obviously ICSE follows a very strict syllabus. So what you have to do is, we have to go through each and every chapter and the syllabus, only the syllabus that's there in this. Something that is not mentioned will not be there. A lot of people will have a lot of doubt that, can this, sum or this numericals from lens might come, this numericals from sound might come or not. If it is not mentioned in the syllabus, it will not come. So how do you prepare? The preparation is quite simple. The strategy is quite simple. Understand the game first. The strategy is, go through your chapter like we do for all our exams. Do all the solved examples. Do all the test exercises. Remember, there cannot be any broad questions. That means there cannot be any definitions. There cannot be any difference between. So this type of questions will not come. Okay. There cannot be any derivations. We will not be asked to derive anything. There cannot be any ray diagrams. So there will be no ray diagrams that might come. But does that means that ray diagram cannot come in any method? Obviously, there could be. Maybe, for example, a ray diagram of lens might give, and like which one of this following options matches with maybe the refracted ray. So indirectly it might come, but the chances are very less. Second, you have to understand it's a 40 marks test. So maximum there could be 40 questions and minimum there will be 20 questions, each of 2 marks, right? So maximum we have to do 40 questions and minimum we have to do 20 questions. Now let's say there are 5 chapters or 6 chapters from where this 20 questions or this 40 questions might come. So if it's a 40 question and there are 5 chapters, the chances that 8 questions from each chapter will come. It will be equally, or maybe some chapters will have 6, 7, 8 or 9 questions like this max. 1 word answers. We know the MCQs. Second, if there are 20 questions, maybe it will be like 4 to 5 questions from each chapter. So we should understand, what are the important questions out here? What questions have the essence of that chapter? What question talks about the understanding or the crux of the chapter? So these are the questions that might come. But how would we know what type of questions? Because if we do last 10 years, there are hardly MCQs, except for maybe in chemistry there are few MCQs that come, but for physics and all there are hardly MCQs. Their maths, we don't have any idea that if there are MCQs or kind of a thing. So for English, for history, there are hardly MCQs. So how are we going to do that? The strategy is flip. The strategy is change the way you are thinking. Do not think as a student, think as a teacher. Like if you are the teacher and if you are the examiner and if you are setting a question from this, what kind of a questions you would have set? Or what can you think of? Go through a chapter and from each chapter try to create 20 to 30 MCQs yourself. Okay, if you do a group study, send this question, challenge one of your friends that this is my challenge on physics on a particular chapter. Let's say we take force and you create 30 MCQs out of that in a Google form, which I will be teaching you if you don't know, or if you don't use a Google form also, you can just handwrite it and give 3 options and send a challenge to one of your friends which you do a group study, or someone in your coaching or someone in your classmates. You can do that. What happens in that? To create 30 or 20 to 30 MCQs from a chapter, you have to deeply go through the chapter so your revision is done. Second, you would have an idea the type of questions that might come. Very important. I'll give you an analogy for this. For example, India plays Australia, maybe in Eden Gardens. We all know that Eden Gardens have long boundaries, so there are chances that it will be a spinning pitch and the other team, Australia, will play a lot of spinners. What are the spinners available? We'll do all the analysis, and based on that, India would play the best 11. Right? What are the weather conditions? Everything. So they would analyze what kind of scenarios they might face in the real T20 match out there, right? If they bat first, what the type of scores, all these things they analyze. They don't feel like, no, I have practiced a lot, I'm ready for any kind of bowlers or any kind of batsman, I'm ready for that. No, they will analyze the possibilities, different permutations and combinations kind of a thing, right? So you as a student also have to analyze that, the type of questions that might come. The worst mistake that we can do, or that most of the students does, is they prepare for everything, but they don't simulate or they don't create that mock test. And maybe they would sit for a mock test, they would go to any online, or maybe their coaching center, or maybe the schools will conduct online, but that is they're only solving the answers or solving the questions. They're not creating their own questions. Once we create our own questions, we'll be in a better position to solve a question. So my strategy is simple. As of now, go through each and every chapter, revise your thing, go through the book. Always keep a syllabus handy, what is there in ICSE. Do not just blindly do everything. That's a waste of time and energy, right? For example, like for the test match for the T20 match that we discussed about in Eden Gardens, if a batsman start practicing in a bouncy pitch with only ball bouncing out here and practice those shots, it will be of no use. Yes, it is good, but it will be of no use for that particular match, right? And MCQs are a T20 match, maybe half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, and you have to finish 20 to 40 questions. So it's a T20 match, it's not a test match, it's not a 2.5 hours exam. So prepare yourself for that. So it's waste of energy. So do not waste your energy, right? And create your own question sets, interchange, ask your friend to create theirs and ask them to challenge you with this, and then compare their scores. And in this way, if you have a group of 5 or 10 friends which you do a group study, each one of you can create 20 to 30 questions. So we will be practicing around 100 MCQs from, may not be 100, will be different, but at least there will be at least 50% different questions. So you will have a better understanding about how to give this MCQ thing. So do this, and if you need my help, you can also join my classes or join my test where I don't create questions. I have got students who create questions. Then I am going to start this league from September, where each of the students will challenge other students, and I will moderate the question. I will go through the questions. Is the question pattern correct? As a teacher, once I see their questions, I would know how much they've understood this chapter. And sometimes, for the sake of making a question, some of my students might make a question, but then I would understand, okay, this requires more understanding for that particular student. So we'll have a one-to-one class for them, or one-to-one session for them. I have my online classes I take from Zoom. I have students around West Bengal, okay, from different cities who have been doing classes with me for almost 1.5 years now, since the pandemic, and most of them have got benefited. and we also have one-on-one sessions with them whenever they require any kind of personal help on a particular topic or something like that. So try to create the questions which you might expect. Do not spend your time memorizing definitions, practicing things that will not count, because it's not about knowledge now. You have gained your knowledge, it's about exam readiness. And exam readiness is more important than just gaining knowledge, right? I'm not saying gaining knowledge is bad, but I'm saying for this, you don't try to only gain knowledge. Obviously, if you don't understand this particular topic, you will not be able to answer any questions from that correctly. So yes, gaining knowledge is important, but only mere gaining knowledge is not enough for excelling in this type of examination. The easiest strategy is, you can even do it yourself. You can even check out my classes, or you can even ask me or connect with me if you want to for more in-depth analysis of each and every chapters. But even without my help, even without help of any teachers, you can yourself with few of your friends can start this challenge of creating MCQs from each chapter and challenging one of your friend and let him challenge back. And you can have a small kind of a bet with them, like if you win, I'll give you an ice cream, or if I win, you give me a chocolate, kind of a thing. So that will be a healthy competition, and also preparation will be happening through that. I hope this session or this video is helpful to you, and I wish to make such more videos in due course, and I wish that this kind of video will be helpful for you to understand this examination pattern and work out a strategy for yourself. And I would definitely create my set of predictive questions, but then this is which I feel, I mean, this is not it's, I'm not an astrologer, or I cannot predict any questions, because for all of us this is a new pattern to work with. We don't have last 10 years questions based on this pattern, so we don't know what ICSE will come up with or CBS will come up with. But what we expect is, if we cover everything and in a fun way, in a smart way, then I think we'll all be more equipped and more practiced to face the challenge. All the best to all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy with body as well as mind, and for any help you can always DM me or direct message me in my WhatsApp number. I will share it in the link or at the end of the video, or even on the video, so that any help that I can give it to you, my dear students, I will be happy to help. Bye bye.